Well, what's up, guys? So, just changing up a little bit from just doing the Cummins stuff. Because if you followed it from some of my videos from the very beginning, you'll know that I was doing the. This is an '04 F250 that was originally a 6.0 truck. And as you can see, you can already see that there's a newer style dash in here. Well, I'm putting the 26. It's like a from 13 to 16 F whatever, the Super Duty dash with the hump in the middle. It has the 8-inch screen. I've got this in there. It's all took apart just because I'm working on it. You can get a kind of a glimpse of what I got going on here. Is this a project that you want to take on? You can do it. You just gotta. It helped to do a lot of research. I can answer questions possibly, but some of the stuff it may not work on every year of these trucks. Mine has to be the '04, so a lot of the stuff for the earlier model F250s you can find. Like I'm not sure the years, but my truck had the digital this is the factory gauge clutcher sitting in here right now because I'm using it to make sure all my shit's working, which so far everything's working like it's supposed to. Haven't wired up my multi-function switch yet. That's actually what I'm working on right now. I was hoping to try to start my truck before this video, but I don't have a turbo, and I really don't want to get ahead of myself and put everything together under the hood and then stuff be in my way because I'm trying to figure out how I want to mount my batteries, which from what it looks like I'm going to mount them both batteries on the driver's side, just so I have more room on the other passenger side for the air filter for the turbo and stuff. But I don't really have the turbo, and a few other miscellaneous things. But when you hit the key, the truck will actually try to start. Besides, I haven't hooked it because I haven't ran my new cables for the batteries yet, so I don't actually have the starter hooked up. But everything else does what it's supposed to. As far as when you turn the key to the start position, it pulls the solenoid to open up the fuel for the P pump, and then it'll hold that until it'll hold it open. Once I back off the start into just run, it'll hold open until I actually turn the key off and it shuts off. So I know my stuff's working. My cluster, I didn't really show none of it because I wasn't sure about it anyway, but I've already got my ignition and that stuff hooked up. I've got my tow haul. On these trucks, it's a tow haul on this, and on a '06 tow haul, so I got that working. I've got the pedal interlock working. When you hit your brake pedal, it'll let you shift it in the gear. I've already figured out the clock spring, and your airbag. Now, I don't want to be responsible for your airbag. I figured out what my wires are and everything, matched them up. I know which ones are for that. I don't want to be responsible for you not wiring your airbag properly and it blowing off in your face. Which, to be honest, I don't really see that happening. But if you don't wire something right, you could potentially send juice to that airbag. As soon as you hit power to your truck, it fucking blows up. So I don't want to be responsible for that. I guess I could probably show you the wires that show you the wires. As far as on this, that's another thing I've got to explain. This is an 11 to 15 or 16 column, but I modified a 08 to 10 multi-function switch to the column because if you're familiar, the 11 to 16s, they don't have a switch that'll just stay when you flip it to the thing. It always goes back to the original position. it don't hold until, you know, until you turn it off or cut the wheel and it hits the little switch that's right here. I haven't got it bolted in because I'm messing with it. One thing, you will have to figure out something to do with your hat. You have to figure out your own hazard switch. I'm probably just going to put a nice little hazard switch somewhere. I'm still working on that, figuring out where I want to put that, because it's not like on the one here, because it stays down until you let off. Then your 08 one, the 08 to 10. It always goes back to the same position. So when you run into that, when you run into the shit that goes back to the same position, it's gonna take. You're gonna. I mean, if you know how to do it, you figure it out. But yeah. But yeah, so far I've got my clock spring. That's pretty much. It's all wired up. Minus because this was the XL truck, it didn't have steering wheel controls, which is fine because I've already got the thing so that I can work the radio from the newer steering wheel. So I've still got to wire that in, but I ain't even got. I'm still working on that. I'm just trying to get the dash buttoned up, and so that way everything on the dash is good. Minus gauge cluster, I'll have to figure that out. I'll figure that out when I get to that point, but I wanted that cluster left alone so that I know everything's working. And then once I get driving and running the truck, running and driving, I'll figure out the gauge cluster. Because I know this is going to be a little different. Your 7.3 trucks are way easier. Yeah. I do know this passenger side, your passenger airbag on this. I'm using the newer one, 11 to 16, and it honestly plugs right in. It plugs right into the 04 dash harness. Plugged right in. I haven't tried it to see if hopefully it won't blow up, but I don't think We'll cross that road when I get there, which I don't think it will. Because to be honest, the way that airbag system works, you gotta get into a crash, and then it sends power. It sends a signal to the airbags. I mean, there's more to it than just that, but it's kind of like an on-off. So you either gotta have the power or you don't, and they pretty much all work about the same. So it'd have to get a signal from the sensors in the truck to be able to deploy the airbags. And if it plugs up, then it plugs up, and it seems like so far that's what it's got. Honestly, I've actually had the new door panels in my truck working and everything the whole time. Or actually for several years now. I've put these in several years ago. Only thing I did was paint my switch bezels to match the outside of my truck. And I did play around with the master, the driver door switches with the LEDs on the inside. Because on some of I actually used the switches on this one from a 08 to 10. Just on this door. The rest of them were plug and play. Only thing I had to cut and splice was the door lock switches. I put the newer plug on it. I could probably pop it here. I'll pop it up and you can. I don't want to break it, but yeah, I marked all my wires when I was doing it, but you can see. You can see that the plugs are all there. Those are just where I was labeling it, but you see it's got the two big plugs. All I did is I had to depin them and move. I used one of the original plugs for the lock, the original lock, the plug, and I had to depin and move the wires and accordingly. I bought the pigtail from Ford for the lock. Yeah, but these pretty much went right in, no problems. That was pretty easy, the doors, but the doors are all in the truck. I can probably, I've got most of the interior pulled out because I'm working on everything. But I hope to be getting this thing started soon. I just, I don't know, I want to get ahead of myself and get a bunch of stuff in the way before I start this thing, because, yeah. What's up, guys? So, still working on the truck. Just figured I'd give a little update. Been super busy with just working on this truck and life in general, but still ain't got a turbo, so definitely probably won't be starting up on this video. But in the meantime, I've been working on the interior, working on the dash a lot, because I had it wired a certain way and I decided I wanted to change it and make it better, and it works a lot better now. Actually, because I had to move the batteries to the driver's side, both batteries, I made a battery tray because I couldn't find something that I liked, so I just made one using some angle iron and welder and some stuff like that. So I got a pretty nice and sturdy one. My battery cables come in. I got some a 4-aught for it, from the batteries to the starter, and as soon as my connectors get here, and I'm gonna make those, do the battery cables all up. Right now I just had some shit laying around, so I just put some cables I had laying on it so that I could get power inside the truck, just so I could test out my dash and test out all my stuff, because I'm trying to make everything work just like it did with the truck factory. And so far it's all working real good, real nice. Yeah. As you can see, I got the dash all took apart. It's sitting in here. Originally, I'd recommend doing your dash like this if you're going to do this dash swap. For the simple fact is, if you're wiring or whatever, you can see, make sure everything's working. If you didn't notice, this is, like a whatever, 11 to 16 column, but I used a 08 to 10 multifunction switch. For the simple fact is if you're familiar with the 1116, you will know that this switch right here, it doesn't stay in place, and it always goes back to the original position. So it's really hard to make it try to work, because it sends signals to a body control module, whatever. And this one was a lot easier for me to make to work. So I just modified it to fit on this column, and everything, the factory 16 plastics and stuff column cover will work on it, and it'd be fine. I just been working on a little wiring, making sure I got everything good. You can see I got a jumble of wires right here. It's definitely not a jumble of wires. That's how I make all the dash stuff work. As you can see, well, here, let's check this out. Here's my key, stick it in ignition. Key sense. If you know your truck has that, yeah, I could do away with that, but I need that for certain things to work right. Then that's the first one. If the radio was in here, it'd be on. And then you got that one that turns everything on. Well, you can't really see it because of sunlight, but if I turned it, it'll do what it's supposed to. If I had the starter connected, I left that unconnected, but because I ain't got some stuff yet. But as you can see, keys in the on position. I got I don't know if you can hear it, the blinkers are going. You can't really see it. And you got the right blinker, and everything's working like it should. Yeah. It took a little bit to get it like I wanted it, but right now everything's working like it should. Yeah. So yeah, okay. So really, all I got done for this time is really I made a battery tray for my my two batteries on the driver's side. You can't really tell. Like I said, I just had some cables laying around here that I used to attach the two batteries and whatever. But for the most part, this really did that. And then I got, really dash stuff. I'm about ready to put it on. I was supposed to be all the way done, but they decided to, they sent me I don't know what the hell happened. They sent me the wrong part. So I can't finish my headlight switch for the 16 dash yet, but everything else is working for the most. I got everything else going. I got I do need to do the shift link, the shift cable. I actually got a cable for an 08 to 10 that'll work with my transmission in this column. I just got to monitor. Really, if I had the bracket off of a 2008 to 10 5R110 tranny, I could just bolt it right to the side of my transmission and I'd be all the way done. Everything else, it connects everywhere else but that one bracket. So I don't have one. I really can't seem to find one. So I may just take my bracket off and then modify it a little bit to accept the cable, which shouldn't be too hard. But yeah, everything's working like it should so far. Hopefully I can get a turbo ordered. I'm hoping maybe this week, maybe next week. I'm not sure yet. It just depends on where I'm at. But I'm trying to get. I'm trying my damnedest. I really wanted to have it done by Christmas, but I'm not sure if that's going to happen just because just money. But I'm really pushing for the first of the year to be able to fire it up, drive it. I'm hoping I can fire it before then, but really I could fire it, but there's no turbo on it. It would just be dumping exhaust right out into the engine bay. But yeah, just definitely stay tuned. I'm getting really close to this. I definitely plan to keep doing videos after the fact, just to my, just for other things. So obviously, I can't always leave stuff alone. I do have this truck, and then I got a Mustang I need to tinker on. I got some other stuff I got to work on. Yeah, I actually got some projects lined up to continue. May not be exactly swaps, but hey, I might get some more swap work out of this. I definitely would love to do more Cummins or even interior swaps on these F250s. I'd love to continue doing that stuff. I like doing it. It's fun to me. I definitely will. I'm gonna attempt to do the gauge cluster. I was waiting until I was all running and everything's working properly before I get into the cluster. I've got a couple clusters sitting in here that I'm gonna tinker with. I think I'm gonna get me another cluster that, like, for this model truck for the 04, and use it as I guess my first initial one, just to build and see how it works. I think it's going to work out pretty good for me. But definitely stay tuned if y'all, if you haven't yet, subscribe, like it. If you like what you're watching, you want to see more, definitely hit that bell notification if you want to know when I'm posting my next video. But until next time, See ya.